Hey, I just wanted to add on to today's video that I'm smiling because today's video is on tenacity. And the definition of tenacity is for you to continue doing what you're doing, regardless of whether people approve of you or whether you have any evidence that what you're doing is the right thing. As long as you know what you're doing is the right thing, then that's good enough. And enjoy the video today, but I mean, what a nightmare. My internet went out and we just kept going. That is the definition of tenacity, and that is the gift I would like to give you today. And the way that you develop that type of tenacity is you need to have clearly defined goals. Watch the video, and it'll help you through this process. Okay, apparently my internet went out, so we're going to have to do this on the phone. I would like you to notice that whoever you are, I won't name your name, that sent me a note that said I don't dress up enough to be on my video. I wore a tie just for you. So today, while I'm waiting for my internet on my laptop to come back on, we're going to talk about well-formed outcomes in terms of your personal metaphor. And I was having a conversation with a friend of mine while I was out walking at the lake, and we were kind of like going through what was going to happen on the show, and I was taking her through this process. And I know her well enough to know that her thing, her big deal is cooking. I mean, she loves food and tasting and doing all of these things. And I just got the idea that it would be a fun process to take her through the metaphor of what if her life metaphor was based on a banquet. Okay, because one of the things I asked her, I said, so do you want a bag of stale donuts or would you like to go to a banquet? And, obviously her answer was the banquet. So I want you to think about this in terms of, we're going to do the life wheel. And of course, my internet page is not up. I've included the links to the life wheel that you can download that when it goes up. And I also included a well-formed outcome. So if you got a second, grab a piece of paper or text, type on your phone and stuff. And let's just go through this for a second. A well-formed outcome or a well-formed intention is based on the idea that this is your goal or your dream, not somebody else's. It is begun, initiated, and maintained by you. So if you decide you want to lose weight, or you want to decide that you want a new car, or you want a different career, or you want to get married, or you want to get divorced, or you want to do something, guess what? You're going to have to do all of the work. Now, there may be people who benefit from your efforts and stuff like that, but don't get aggravated about that. This is for you, by you, and you're the one that gets the reward. Okay, so I've goofed off long enough. Hopefully you've got a pen and paper or something. I want you to write this down. What do you really want? Okay, and think about, what do I want? And we're going to get to the life wheel here in a second. But the first thing that pops into your mind of what you want, it might be you want this lockdown to be over. So we could do that, okay, what do you want? I want the lockdown to be over. But take a couple of seconds and write down what it is specifically that you want. And then what I want you to do is we'll do this later, but you take a look at it, and I want you to break it down or mush it down into 7 words or less. And when I was talking to my friend, both of us, we both exercise and we cook and we do all that stuff. And, so I use physical body because I like to do yoga, I like to eat right and exercise. And I want to live for, at least 256 years. So my well-formed outcome is I want a vibrant, strong body. Okay. And if you count that out, that's exactly 7 words. I will have a vibrant, strong body. Okay. And that brings us to our second portion of the outcome frame. So what do you want? And then you write down, when do you want this? Okay. And most people, we are not the bicycle at the end of the week people. We are the ice cream today people. And so, obviously you want it right away, or 2 weeks ago last Thursday. Okay. But I also want you to think in terms of, when do you want this, depending on what your goal is, because if your goal is that you want to have this great career or great business or great relationship or whatever, is there ever a time where you don't want that? From a business context, I want to have a really, really robust business, but I don't want us to be so busy that I don't have time to go to my daughter's choir concerts, and I don't have enough time to, take off a week or go to or have Christmas because I'm so busy. So think in terms of whatever your goal is, when do you want it and when do you not want that, and write it down. And then the third part of this is going to be, how will you know when you have this? Because, it's a great idea to know when you're done. And the way that you'll know you're done, when I was a kid, they didn't have fixed movie times and stuff like that. When you went to the movies, you walked into the movie and they had a movie reel, 1 or 2 cartoons maybe, and then they had the feature show. And what you do is you would walk in whatever time that you walked in, and you would watch all of this stuff. And when you got to the part where you already seen what happened, that was when it was time to leave. So that's what I'm trying to ask you, is how will you know when you're done? Or how will you know when you have this goal completed, so that you will be able to tell? And there's a couple of things that you need to consider is, what are you going to see? Okay. What are you going to see around you? Okay. What are you going to hear? What are you going to say to yourself? Or what sounds do you hear around you when this goal is completed? And then also, how are you going to feel? Are you going to feel good? Are you going to feel satisfied? Are you going to feel fantastic? And then if you wish to, I always like. So apparently we're going to be doing crazy stuff on the internet again. So when we last left off, we were talking about what you're going to see, what you're going to hear, what you're going to feel. But also, what are you going to smell and what are you going to taste? When you think about it, what does success, or what does your goal smell like? If you want to go on vacation, maybe it smells like the beach or suntan lotion. If your goal is exercise or a brand new career, or you want to get, maybe it has the smell of wedding cake, or, who knows what possible things, that you might smell or taste. And the reason that I'm bringing this up is that, my internet came back on. That's hysterical. The reason I'm bringing this up is because my friend is very, very much a foodie, and she is totally, totally into food. So I asked her what it would be like if her life was a banquet. Okay, so, and this banquet stretches out before her for miles and miles, and for days and days. And we started going through her life wheel about what her physical environment would be like. And we ultimately decided that her central location to launch from is her kitchen. And if she launches from her kitchen, everything else works. And I want you to think about that in terms of, what's your metaphor? Now, I got like my buddy Clint Fuquay. My guess is, Clint, that your central location is your gym, and and everything radiates out from the gym. I know other people that, they have great careers, or they are very, very family oriented and stuff. So everything is going to emanate from their metaphorical center Some people, they want to be in love. Some people want to be of service. Some people want, when they think about what their central metaphor is, they're in their workplace or in their office. And people are sending me messages letting me know that my video cut off. Yeah, I know. So I want you to think about this in terms of, okay, let's go back to what it is that you wanted, okay, and whatever it may be, okay. So I'm going to use my vibrant, healthy body, okay. So how would that affect my personal environment? Okay, so obviously I'm going to need food in that environment. I'm going to need space that I can work out in. It needs to be comfortable. For me, the temperature needs to be not too hot, not too cold. And then I move to the next area of the life wheel. And let me show you that again because the video cut off. So it's a circle, 8 areas of your life. Okay, and in terms of what my career for 17 years actually was a personal trainer before I went back to grad school. Okay, finance. This was. Hold on, people are waving at me. My finances. I made a decent living when I was a personal trainer. I made enough money that I could go to school and when I got finished. In the area of my intimate other, okay? For me, even today, even though I'm no longer in a personal training business, my intimate other, they need to be health conscious. They need to pay attention to their health in a way. They need to be height, weight, proportionate. Nobody's perfect. But they need to take personal responsibility for their personal health. And I need to take responsibility for my personal health because I don't really want somebody to have to take care of me. And, I realize that when we get into a finite relationship, that's kind of the deal, but it needs to be a symbiotic relationship. Plus, I want to be able to go on vacation and do stuff, with my partner. And they need to be fit enough to go do those things. Family and friends. I have a tendency to generate friends that are in the same type of context that I do. I know a lot of coaches. I know a lot of hypnotists. I also know people that meditate and that work out and have a generally healthy lifestyle. I just can't think of a whole bunch of people that I know that hang out in bars and do really unhealthy stuff. We just don't really fit all that well. I might have acquaintances, but not long-term friends. Okay, personal and spiritual growth is the next section. In order for you to maintain, and I'm staying in the context of vibrant health, for me, I have to grow. And that means I have to try new exercise protocols. I need to evaluate what I'm doing in a different way. Maybe I need to do all of my exercises in a different order. Maybe I need to do my instead of doing this myself, maybe I need to go to a class and just take a completely different perspective. Okay, and then fun and recreation is the last segment of this. Is how do you plug in your life goals? How do you plug in your I want this type of life into this process and add in fun and recreation? I mean, to me, going on a dive trip or going on a retreat or going up to the mountains and go hiking or any of those things, that's going to be right in alignment with my vibrant, strong body component. Okay, so one of the things that I'm going to recommend that you do is that you think about this question. We'll go back through it again. Is what do you really want? Okay, and then based on what you really want, break it down into 7 words or less and take a trip around your life wheel, because the way that you will know that your goal is for you is you have more areas of your life that are in congress with one another. It's not going to be perfect. That's not the world that we're looking for. If we had a perfect world where you got everything that you wanted all the time, how boring would that be? Okay, we need that contrast. We need those challenges in order to keep ourselves sharp. And like this video cutting off of me, I'm gonna have to take all this stuff and download it, and I'll lace it all together. I really appreciate you guys sticking with me throughout this process. Please feel free to message me on Facebook and or my website. And I just took my two websites, Nobody Wants Therapy and Dr. Michael Harris, and put them together. So you type in either one, it'll take you to my website where you can email me if you have any questions. All right, I love you guys, except for the guy who wanted me to wear a tie, and I just still kind of like you. So I will talk to you tomorrow, and I promise tomorrow we're going to do a fun hypnosis process called the movie theater. I do that a lot in my office, and I have found it extremely effective for problem solving. So one of the things I want to give you guys is tools so that you can do what you need to do. And I'll talk to you tomorrow.